So part of 13th House Mystery School chords. So during my red chord, I attracted this mentor in past life redemption process. I was working loosely with Yvonne and Dreams, and I was volunteering at Surrounded by Cedar Indigenous Youth in Care and participating in beautiful blanketing ceremonies and teachings around drums and old stories and how to rear youth, to be respectful towards elders and culture and be excited about culture. So I was really embraced in a lot of beautiful goings ons at that time, and I was really enjoying my art. I was in my second year in art school, and I was really excited about animorphs and theosophy, the philosophy that the artist's role is to bring spirit to the masses. So I was really enjoying this. And then my art history teacher, who was now my mentor in Eurasian shamanism, was always spouting off very interesting information during our art history classes. And we proceeded to make art consciousness classes. So we were doing drum journeys in the school and then creating art around the visions, and the process of journeying with intent, and then what does your sacred space look like, was one of the prompts. One of the other prompts was, what is your life's purpose? One of the other prompts was, explain consciousness or something like this. And you could do it in any way. We did performance pieces and could sculpt it, could anything was acceptable. Prose poems, things like this. So it was very functional for me, because I can express, but I often have a lot of grammatical or spelling error, things like this, because I just kind of boom it out. And so Yvonne was amazing that way, because she really harvests like that genius isn't necessarily grammatical. And so it's doing really well in this school setting of studio creation space and the stimulation of all these going ons. So I started to work first organizing people to experience Lanny's work, because Lanny Rice is quite powerful, very potent, does an hour, boom, in and out, and does energetic removals, what I would classify as shamanic removals. She just calls it energy work. She does little login things. Just check time here. Okay, good, we're early on this one. So I started organizing people to see and experience Lanny Rice's work. Those are past life redemptions. They're channeled homework, and at times some in between kind of middle world work, where speaking with aspects of psyche that are archetypes that you're kind of role playing. And so sometimes working with that, sometimes cleaning the heart, sometimes doing returns, soul retrievals and returns of some kind. And then so during that time, with art consciousness happening with Yvonne, organizing people to see Lanny, getting work done by Lanny, volunteering over in Songhees territory, and learning and dancing and singing and drumming, and just feeling really like nourished, making art up the wazoo. And just feeling super embraced, like so embraced. During that time, I attracted some interesting happenings in the ethers. So I had some really intense lucid dreams of people trying to get into my house and getting into my house and then falling asleep immediately. And so I was like, and I asked Vaughn about it, I asked Lanny about it, neither really understood what the heck that was. And then I was sitting next to a woman drawing in a printmaking class, and she was drawing a rhino with a helmet on its head. And I just randomly asked her about this dream I had, and she was like, I know, and so she ended up is a lifelong mentor and friend, and someone I highly regard for a lot of stuff that goes on for my experience with it, with the ethers. And so she brought me some things to burn and some stuff to do, and it, yeah, is a blessing in my life as far as some of the experiences I experienced in the ethers. Around that time, I had gathered a doe hide, had been gifted a doe hide, and had processed it to a certain stage, but knew that I needed to make a drum, and I'd learned how to make a couple of drums at this stage, and had gifted drums. And I attracted Sonora Eddles during that time, who I had met and journeyed with once a few years prior with Thunderwolf Lodge. And so made some drums with her, and then we started to do channel group. And so we started to meet with a variety of people in my house, in my living room, and I make some teas for everybody, channel the herbs to go into the teas, and make us a nice little tea, and then we do channel exercises. And we did 2 groups of 6 over 8 months, and Lanny would be observing the 5 of us, the 6 of us, doing little round robin channeling exercises, writing exercises, things like this, and just learning how to listen to your guides, how to have a clean channel, how to connect, how to listen, how to ask, how to speak, how to ask them for it clearly, ask them for it differently, that kind of thing. And then she ended up passing the torch to me around the time, which I would have been closing in probably on a year and a half, trying to snuffle my red cord. And Yvonne is very hands-off in her mentorship process. She's a very much drop you into the pool and see if you swim kind of mentor. So when I had mentioned the dreams, she was like, oh, you're doing something right when they come for you. And, sink or swim. And so, and then I found exactly what I needed, because my medicine was something other than what she had that I need, right? And I attracted that. And so, but during that time, Lanny had a very different approach. And so, with Anna Manchara coming up and us doing this, what I now understand as Fatuma, which is what the Maori would call it, as the channel process is Fatuma. And they also have a process of harvesting this and listening to this and speaking clearly, directly to that. And so we did this group, and then she was more of a hands-on mentor. So she sat me down a few times. It was like, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? What is your healing? Like, what do you do? And I was just like, something to do with my hands. I think I do like maybe massage. Like I did, I work, and so that happened a few times, and then finally Lanny was just like, no, like what do you do? Like, answer that. And around that time, I ended up coming in contact with some really beautiful Cree elders, and just quite a few Cree, and some really beautiful lessons. And I had 5 people in 5 days ask me what I was and what I did, and what do I bring? What is it I do? And it was really this like tying up the bow of my red cord.